Hello, YouTube. Hey, YouTube. Yeah, I'm back. I'm going to speak a look for a minute here about something that I think is kind of strange. I don't know if you guys are here or not. I can't see you. It's strange, of course. I mean, everybody in the world is covering the story about P. Diddy, the probability that he's about to go to prison, right? But I'm just curious about the situation with his son. Now, this sounds almost like a movie script where a child is living with a man who he strongly suspects or knows for sure has not only killed his mother, but also attempted to kill his father, left him in a coma near death. Now, no matter what the relationship with them are, I would think you would have some great resentment down deep. Even if you are living with this person, I just don't know how you can wake up in a house where you know this person has killed both of your parents. That's your DNA. I don't understand that, right? This guy, he's a splitting image of I'll Be Sure, of course. He's the guy from Stars. Seems to be a talented young man, but he was basically raised by Puff Daddy. It's a mystery to me how you can do that. It seems like now that this court thing is coming up, he might have still some deep resentment about P. Diddy. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if at some point he turns on him. So the story is that I'll Be Sure has come forward. He says he's making a documentary in which he's going to tell why he was in a coma, how he got to be in a coma, right? It is strongly suspected that Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, or whatever you want to call him, was involved in something happening to Al B. Sure, which almost cost him his life. And to do that to your mother. Now, maybe you didn't know your father, maybe you just happen to look alike and so forth. And Puff Daddy is the person you know to be your dad. But how are you going to accept somebody who's killed your mother? Right. So probably all that's going to be drug up now. I understand that they are reinvestigating her death as well. There are several dead people tied to P. Diddy and his label. Very few of them have survived being involved with him. So I don't know that I would love a person who had done that to my family, taken out my whole damn family, basically. And then just took me and decided like I'm a piece of property or something, pass me around, whatever. But I think that's strange. Y'all got any ideas on this thing? I'm not gonna spend forever on this. I know that Puff Daddy has been covered from every single angle, right? But I think there's a story. I think this guy has got a project. He's working on something. This guy, Quincy Brown. But he, I guess, still accepts Puff Daddy as being his father under those circumstances. I think it's the strangest thing in the world. Now, granted, Puff Daddy's got a lot of money, and he would have a gilded life by sticking with Puff Daddy. But still, there's got to be underlying resentment. I would resent a person, even if I weren't close to my father, but a person who the whole world seems to think killed my mother and tried to kill my father. I think that would be a real big problem. What y'all think? How y'all doing today? What's going on, Fraser Laurie? It's Z. Brent. Hey, Brent. I don't think I've seen you here before. She talked to merch. The boy might be under Diddy's spell, and Lord knows what else has happened to him. Well, that's the thought that, I mean, of course I've had that thought, but I'm not going to voice that at this point. She talked to merch, but he's probably seen a lot since he's lived with this dude basically his whole life. He's probably seen a lot, but when it comes to your parents, your natural parents, you just took out your whole lineage, right? Your whole history. So, of course, Kim Porter, what do they suspect her of? She suspected she was poisoned. They certainly suspect that Al was poisoned. Okay, boy, he's under Diddy's spell. Well, I mean, it's got to be very hypnotizing when you're living in these I don't know, 100 these big, huge mansions all over the goddamn world. You're flying to different countries. You have a career now. I mean, I'm sure it's very seductive. But would you live up under the roof of somebody who killed both your parents or nearly killed both of them? Definitely your mom. I mean, you can't help it. The mother's love. I mean, it goes deep, honey. It's a lot to ignore. What's going on, Goonies? I don't think y'all not really responding to this. Y'all probably did it out, right? You did it out, but it's something worth discussing about this kid who basically, if you turn back to look back, they look like twins if they were the same age, right? So I don't know. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it even if I could live in mansions and have a career and all the things that go along with that. I would think that I would still have a deep loathing for that person. And no doubt he's seen a lot of other people disappear as well. We'll see. Do y'all have any ideas on this thing? Or do we have a discussion or not? What do you think? Hi, NC guy. You like my my commentary, my channel? Thank you. Everybody needs a little encouragement. Thank you. Quincy has never spoken negatively against Al B. They do have a relationship, and Quincy has always claimed Al his father, daddy. Okay. So the man reaching out to the boy in the social media and telling him to come home, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think he probably sees that P. Diddy's about to go down, and he don't want him to go down with him, right? Because they're going to definitely be investigating his sons as well, correct? They're all three in danger. All he was saying, you're always welcome to come here. It does sound like they have some kind of relationship, right? So wouldn't you tell your children, with all this drama going on, you can walk away from that and you have a place to come? What's wrong with that? I don't see the problem with it, honey. And plus, as you get older, maybe I'll be sure was not present when he was a baby, whatever, because of problems with their marriage and so forth. But as he's getting older now and came very, very close to death, then perhaps he does want to reach out to his family, particularly when they see somebody going down possibly for even murders. I mean, why in the hell are the Homeland Security so involved in that I'm having sex with prostitutes? They keep saying sex trafficking, but they're not saying who was trafficked. They're not saying specifically, right? If him abusing his girlfriend, is that sex trafficking? Him hiring prostitutes, is that sex trafficking? Him having other people to procure prostitutes for him. There seems to be a lot of talk about prostitutes. So I'm just trying to figure out, you go out and you hire a prostitute, how is that sex trafficking? Right? So we don't know what else they're really doing with him. They say they've been investigating him for months. I suspect it's going to be something more than this thing about people hiring prostitutes to have sex. They're in the business of having sex, right? They got paid. So where is the trafficking? It seems to me that trafficking would mean that he is actually selling people or collecting money from their hire, right? He's not doing that. He's paying them. So I'm not taking up for Diddy. I think he's a horrible person. I hate the things that happened to Cassie. Sounds just like a standard abuser, an extreme abuser. I'm glad she got her money out of this thing, but now they're dragging her back into it, saying that she's going to testify against him. Probably I'll be sure he came and did his thing publicly, because if someone tries to kill you and they have followers, honey, you don't, I mean, he can't be feeling all that secure. The only way he's going to be secure if there's so much public scrutiny on him that Diddy can get, he was just behind the scenes. Who's to say he wouldn't do it again? Right? He certainly knows his ways. Diddy is almost like a character. What's that movie? Was it 5 Heartbeats, where the guy is hanging somebody over a ledge? He did the same kind of shit, right? He's a stereotype of a record exec, at least in the movies. It doesn't even seem like a real thing. It's also unbelievable. I believe it, but it definitely feels like a movie. I agree. Tiki, is it Tiki pronounced Tiki? I agree. I mean, that would be. I would write a book like that. I'm living in the house with this person. I know them killed my parents or tried to kill the other one. Right? I'm in there. I'll have resentments. At the end, the person comes out and finds out they destroy the person who was the abuser. It wouldn't surprise me, particularly if he's in line to inherit all this shit when Diddy goes down. Even if he does go and rejoin, I'll be sure at this point, Diddy should, if he cares about the boy, he said, yeah, go stay with your daddy for a while till this thing is over. Right? But he would still be considered his son. Is he legally adopted? Somebody's going to have to inherit all that shit he has. Now, it's been reported that he doesn't actually own any of these mansions and so forth. If he doesn't own the mansions and his income is from the work, he can't work because he's in jail. I don't know how much they would even inherit. They can't inherit as long as he's alive, even if he's in prison. Prostitution is not sex trafficking. That's the mystery to me. What is he trafficking? I would say even if they were investigating him for human trafficking, since he got all these huge ass mansions that require 20, 30 people to run them, cooks and security and all this stuff. If he was getting people from out of the country and not paying them, something like that, that would be human trafficking. If he's selling people for prostitution, or if he's making people do things against their will, that would be human trafficking. But just to hire prostitutes, why does the word prostitute keep coming up, right? Even Cassie's report was that she would go onto whatever source they use and hire people to have sex. So how's it trafficking? Unless it's against her will. I mean, how they were together. So are they saying that he was abusing her so much that she had to have these gangbangs and stuff? That could be, I guess, trafficking. I don't know. They need to make this a whole lot clearer. And they need to stop dragging this damn thing out. Right? They need some solutions, honey. How they going to come in your house and tear you all your shit up and there's no arrest? Well, what the fuck are you doing here? It seems to me you'd be gathering evidence. So how long will it take to make this documentary? I don't know. Is the documentary already in production? Why can't Al just tell us already? Well, anytime they're writing books or they're making movies or doing that, it's not unusual that they want to hold the hook to keep people interested. So yeah, he could be capitalizing on that. This is what's going to drive people to the story. They want to know if Puff Daddy tried to assassinate this man. But I imagine he probably has security around him and undisclosed location and all that kind of stuff. I would be very nervous. I said, wait a minute, this dude already tried to kill me. So maybe I want everything to be public to draw attention to it. So if something happens to me, you'll know what happened, right? Several people have disappeared fucking with P. Daddy or Puff Daddy or whatever, all these names, Brother Love. I hope Al don't pull a Christian Keys. Just bait us along, honey. If that's your seed, though, I can see him having love for his son. Right? He's 30 years old, so I would imagine he'd have his own. I don't know if he actually lives with Diddy now, but if he's 30 years old, then he probably has his own situation, his own girlfriend or wife, his own stuff. Maybe he wouldn't have to go home. It's certainly got a lot of publicity. Everything associated with this boy, Puff Daddy, has gotten a lot of publicity. So yes, they're all going to capitalize on that. That doesn't mean that it's not real. Pimping. Well, they would have charged him with pimping and pandering then. It sounds like he ain't pimping, he's paying. He's more of a trick. Well, he is a trick. If he's hiring several prostitutes to have orgies and shit, then he is a trick. That's not pimping. It's actually the opposite. But they have charged people before for just procuring prostitution. I think it's a misdemeanor to hire someone, right? So how long will it take to make this documentary? Maybe they were already making the documentary. Or is it in production right now? Does this idea just come up when they got Puff Daddy, when the story broke? I don't know. I'll be sure, Doc. Hold on a second. Let's go to I'll Be Sure documentary and at least see if it's being promoted yet. I'll Be Sure documentary. I'll Be Sure documentary. Official site. I'll Be Sure subtly implies Diddy was part of why he ended up in a coma. Okay. But that's not saying anything about the documentary. He broke up with Kim Porter in 1990. His children was Quincy's his only child. Okay. Net worth, he got $2 million. That's nice. A lot of time your net worth is just how much your house is worth. They're not saying anything about no damn documentary, though. Those who are coming back from illness and coma, I'll Be Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of stories about him spilling this tea, but almost all of it is just about him suggesting that Puff Daddy is involved in his near death. Right. So you can make a documentary quick. I don't know, why the story's still hot. I'd imagine people are getting kind of burnt out on this Diddy story because it's going on so long with all these hints and hints and hints, and nothing happens. You letting another man raise your child, raise your son. That's right. Especially if you think he done killed your damn daddy or tried to kill him and killed your mama. I mean, most men are not going to do that, no matter how much money you got. I wouldn't doubt J-Lo was pimped. Oh, my goodness. So he was with J-Lo at one point. Before Puff. Okay. Our information man, Goonies, says, I'll be announced that documentary before Puff was even rated. This just didn't happen. This is not new news. Okay, so they were already in production, but he wants to spill his tea. This is recently. He wants to spill this thing about his attempted murder. Yes, people are going to use that to promote the film. Nothing unusual about that. Right. So it must not be done if he's going to include this information. Right. And I imagine a lot of them people are still afraid of Puff Daddy. since they know he's going down now, maybe they feel more comfortable. But we don't know how many people. If you have money, you can hire anybody. So he's got to be uncomfortable with that. That this dude would be interested in him again, particularly if he's about to spill his guts on an attempted murder case when he's already fighting all this other shit. If you watch Unsung segment on Albie, it explains a lot of what was going on with him. Okay. Yeah, I almost watched that today. I just saw, see how this publicity stuff works. I was just about to go, before I started this video, to, I don't know if it was Unsung or another station. They had the whole history of Albie Shore up until his hospitalization. So yeah, I will. I'll check it out. I like Unsung. I haven't watched that in a long time. Is that still a show? Is it still on? But they have a lot of the old ones right here on YouTube. Mm-hmm. R. Kelly on steroids. Well, it's going to be a major case. He's been reviewed by pretty much every news station, including PBS, CBS, NBC, CNN, all the bloggers. I mean, it's stories all over the goddamn place. And then after that raid, you would think that they would come and make an announcement that somebody has been arrested. Now, they did go and get this kid. I call him a kid. He's 30-something years old. 30-something years. That's still 30 years younger than me. They went and arrested him. He was accused of being a drug mule for Diddy in this guy's lawsuit. I forget his name, whatever his name is. But he was accused of that. And then they catch him coming off a plane. They search him. Why would they be searching him? I mean, what evidence is he going to have? I'm talking about the white kid that is rumored to be his drug mule. I guess he carries the drugs. And they went right to him. And he was the only one arrested. Right? So I don't think his thing is about drugs. But it seems like this might be a play by Homeland Security or the Fed, a play to get this kid and then threaten him with many, many moons in prison unless he cracked. You know, everybody say they're not a snitch, they're not a snitch. But when they're talking about you going home today or you spending the next 15, 20 years in prison, you'll be amazed at who will talk. That's how they got a lot of the mafia characters. Let's see. I'm not going to repeat that, Goonies. I'm only just now getting involved with the story. I just read it, honey. I am not a stupid person. Yes, I can follow a story if I choose to do that. This story runs way too deep for Uncle Tim. I know Uncle Tim don't like doing deep dives to actually get the story correct. It will take some watching time. It will take hours and hours and hours of watching time to follow their story, to get caught up on their story. I'm not interested enough, Goonies, but yes, I'm capable of doing that if I chose to do that. You've got probably 40 to 50 people covering this story. I don't think I'm going to be able to add anything to it. So, you know, don't get all your news from me, honey. I just think it's interesting, the dynamic, though, of this family of theirs. Does the boy, Quincy, just ignore all of the what's been said about his father or either one of his fathers? Uncle Tim got a life. Oh, hell no. I ain't doing all that, Goonies. Sorry. Now, if you like, I remember when Jussie Smollett had his story going, since that was somebody who I actually watched, who I actually knew about, who I was actually a fan of their show Empire. The story was extremely interesting. So I delved into the story. But for me, I can't even think of an Albie Shore song. I certainly don't know anything about his son, Quincy. So we're just taking it from the headlines, right? people who are actually interested in these people or know these people, yeah, they will be much more interested, much more in depth. Yeah, Unsung was old but still informative. They used to do pretty in-depth stuff, honey. It might explain some of these relationships. Goonie said, "Oh, I understand that. I'm just saying most of us been following the story about Al B. Sure, Puff, Quincy, etc. since the 90s. Oh my God, honey. Shit, we are 24, the 90s. Lord have mercy. You've been following them for 30 years? No, I'm not gonna be able to give you anything, Quincy. All we doing is headlines over here. Uh-huh. Just like the news come on. They have several stories, honey. CNN, they'll cover the Al B. Sure story. They'll cover it for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. They're not everybody dedicating their life to a single story. But if you have been following a long time, then you certainly know a lot more about those guys than me. I am surprised. I didn't even know that. I always said that kid looks familiar. Even when I watched some episodes of Star, I think I watched that for the first 2 seasons. I said, he looks a whole lot like somebody. I couldn't even put my hand on it. And then I said, then you put them side by side. Hell, they look like brothers, twins. If you put them at the same age, take a picture of him at 24 and a picture of his son at 24, they look like the same person. Jesse, wait a minute, Smollett probably works at Walmart now. Honey, Smollett is still trying to fight his case. Now he's going to the Illinois Supreme Court. Instead of just doing that old silly ass 4 months in prison, child, that ain't nothing. He gonna be in. He could have read a couple of books. 4 months, damn. Read some books, wrote his story. Jesse Smollett's story is gonna be interesting only if he can tell the truth. If he just gonna get on there with all that bullshit lies of his, then it's not worth doing. I just got a phone call. You guys ought to do this. Sometimes I get people in the publishing industry. They're all kind of scammers out there. I got a phone call right before I came on here. I had already clicked on the ring light. This dude called me. He wants to make a movie he said he worked for Columbia Pictures. He wants to make a movie out of one of my books called The Label, right? And so I said, I'm not going through this again. I said, so while he was on the phone, I said, okay, what's your name? What's the spelling? And you just Google them, honey. When I Google them, then I pull up their YouTube channel. These people don't even speak English, right? And they got maybe 4 or 5 videos. You're not legitimate people. So just check them out. Check them out, not only just to date them, but if I have so many people to call me, we're interested in making a movie. Are you interested? Okay, how much is it going to cost me personally? Since you're going to give me, he told me they're going to buy my book for $200,000. Well, they're going to buy my book for $200,000, girl. Why do you need something from me? Right? They say that to the last line. That was your jam? I'll be sure. Uh-huh. See, that story would be much more interesting to you. Moonbeam's Child. Mm. You like Albie? What's his songs? Sometimes you don't know. Might not notice. I mean, I wasn't paying attention to music in the 90s, but you hear the song, you say, "Oh, I know that song. I know every damn word of it." You thought Albie Shore was cousins with Christopher Williams? I don't know who that is. I don't follow, and I don't even listen to old music. It's just stuff that's stuck in my head. As you get old. It's too bad that the father and his natural father and his son are not do not have a better relationship. But we don't know that. We don't know what they do, you know. We don't know how much of a part of his life. I mean, a lot of people have stepfathers and they still have a relationship with their fathers, right? Is that why Diddy want to get rid of him? Night and Day was one of his hits. Oh, Night and Day? I don't know that by title. They tried to scam me. Yeah, people of all the books I wrote, I think that for them to just pick out the label, I suspected that was bullshit. That was number 4 in that series. Why would you go to number 4? It was a whole damn series, chef. They light-skinned R&B. They're both good-looking people. It's all, you know, it's all temporary. When Albert Shore was making his announcement, though, he still didn't seem to be 100%. He was like leaning on the pedestal. He always wear dark glasses now. So I don't know if he did permanent damage to the man. You know. The girls loved Albie. Oh, he had his time, huh? Okay. I call your name, girl. Who was that? The barge? The ladies were liking the light-skinned fellas. Lord have mercy. Mm-hmm. He probably thought Kim had shared something with Al B. Yeah, I imagine there's a whole lot of information out there. It depends on how safe these people feel. If they feel safe that he can't get to them, there'll probably be more people that were more involved come forward, right? Especially if the Feds start coming with these deals of theirs. I think it's very, very suspicious that they took this one kid who they knew was holding drugs because somebody had already said he was the mule. He was the one holding the drugs. He gets off a plane and the Fed immediately goes to him and searches him. If they search him, they're not just searching people at random. They must know that he has the drugs, right? They can use that person and manipulate that person by charging or not charging them for the charges, right? I mean, they could offer him to let him go if he testifies, kind of thing. We can give you, you know, put you in witness protection and all that stuff. They got their ways, honey. I call your name. Switch. That's right. Bobby DeBarge, baby. I knew them, you know. I knew him. I knew Jermaine Stewart. Him and Jermaine Stewart were good friends. But Bobby, and this was when they were most popular. They had big billboards all over Sunset Boulevard and all that. But I don't think he liked me very much because I was not talented. They were surrounding themselves by people in show business. Mm-hmm. Bobby DeBarge had a beautiful voice. He wasn't a bad-looking rascal either. I didn't know he was a heroin addict. I never knew it until I did watch some of these unsung series. Hmm. Maybe that's why he didn't feel me, honey. He said, "Oh, he ain't use because we don't. When you're on dope, you don't mess with people who not on it." That was a fun time in Hollywood. When I arrived, I got there in 76, went home, came back in 77. Right. Puffy Nino Brown. Now, who's Puffy Nino Brown? I'm surprised there isn't more talk about the son. I just be curious, does he still live with him? Although 30 years old, I doubt it. But Puff Daddy had these huge ass mansions everywhere. I'm sure that somebody's living in them. So maybe they do hang around. Both his kids seem to be at the big mansion. Both of his other kids. There is a video on YouTube of Jermaine showing his apartment in 1988. Yeah, I remember that. And I remember he started off doing first of all, he didn't think he could sing. Jermaine used to live with me, so we talked a lot. He didn't think he could sing. He didn't take himself seriously as a singer. He took himself seriously as a dancer. That was his goal, to be in dancing projects, right? But he hooked up with Jody Watley and Jody. What was the other guy? I didn't know him. Jody and Jeffrey Daniels. Anyway, he started singing background for them, and then nothing really happened here. But then he went to London and he had a hit record. Let me see. We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Oh no, we just dance and party right all night and drinking cherry wine. Uh-huh. So he went to London and he had that hit. When he came back, I ran into him. I was just starting to do meth. So I hadn't lost my mind yet. And we went out on the town. And he said he had a hit record in London. And then he had a couple more too. What's the other one? Something about two people, I forget. Whatever. Yeah, Jody Watley wouldn't remember it, but when Jermaine was living with me, she actually came to our apartment. He was good for. He was a very popular boy even before he was a singer. He was very popular with the Soul Train crowd and all that. So he knew a lot of people. I was just young and cute and on the scene. I met him at my sugar daddy had a birthday party. He had rented a boat, right? And Jermaine was many of the Soul Train dancers were there. And that's where I met him at. Yeah, apparently Bobby DeBarge's life was kind of tragic because he was a drug addict. And then their childhood was tragic because their father was an abusive person. That Unsung did cover stories pretty well. So maybe I will go look in there again. This is real life New Jack City, Tim. Okay. Real life New Jack City, baby. Puffy is new to Nino Brown. Oh, Nino Brown was the character in New Jack City. I guess it could be a major drug thing. I don't know. Be quiet, ding dong. I don't need no security right now. Thank you. Let me see. Yes, she sure was. And really nice and interjective with her fans. Absolutely, honey. I remember when she came to my apartment, she just started talking to me. And she was popular at that time too, because they were having their music at the same time as Switch. Right? That was before Jermaine caught on. And I believe they started as a Soul Train project. Jody and what was their names? Jody and Shalimar. Okay. But yeah, there's several celebrities who are like that, though. They just connect with people very easily. They have nice personality. That I met when I was working in my sugar daddy or whatever, boyfriend, whatever you call him. I was working in his studios. Cicely Tyson came in there. He was making clothes for Cicely Tyson. He was extremely popular, this guy. And Cicely Tyson came in there. I was working in the show. It was called Workroom 27. And he made clothes for damn near every black act in Hollywood. He was very popular. His name was Bill Whitten. Anyway, she came to get her clothes made, and then she was in the back room with the employees for something like an hour, just talking to us. There's no reason to. Nino Brown was ruthless. Lord have mercy, terrorizing the Italians, talking about, yeah, maybe come on back, we could have some chitlin linguinis. That's the only line I remember. She has a talk show on Cyrus and is still doing music. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know her. I just met her. But she was good friends with Jermaine. You met Shaka Khan? Mm. Yeah, I passed by her in Hollywood as this drug dealer. She was leaving. I said, "Oh, who is that?" I was coming in, so I didn't talk to her. It was just a weed dealer. I was clean them days. I didn't even do drugs. I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't start messing with that shit until years later. You love Shaka? I love it when the babies make it out. You know, it's a rough life when you're hooked on drugs. I think it's great when people can talk about it though. That you survived it. You made. Not everybody makes it out, honey. Believe me, I know. I lived a very interesting life. Yeah, you barely remember. I don't remember all that stuff. You know why? Because I was high all the time. You're high all the time. You don't remember that stuff. I just know I had a lot of friendly friends. Put it like that. But when it was over, honey. Not every season is for a lifetime. Even though AA will tell you that, oh, you're an alcoholic forever and all that stuff, child. Everybody's path is not the same. When God said it was done for me. That's it. She's had no more tours, Jody Watley. Yeah, she got to be getting up there too. We were all about the same age. So I'm 66 years old now, honey. When I met her, I had to be about 20. Sometimes it's kind of sad when these guys are way past their prime. They're in their 60s and 70s and still touring because they need the money. They got a certain lifestyle they have to maintain. And then, the numbers are not numbering at after a certain amount of time. I guess some people do it because they love the work too. Do it as long as you can do it, honey, like Tina Turner. Shaka Khan. Remember Shaka Khan? She had her time too, honey. Roll me through the rushes like Moses. Shaka retired from touring, not Jody Watley. Well, they got to be around the same age, honey. Who wants to work forever? God damn, you made your mark, Comes a time you need to sit down somewhere. Sit down, relax, enjoy yourself. Go traveling, honey. I thought Shaka was kind of had some strange appearances lately. I don't know if she ever got off drugs or not. I don't know. They used to make fun of her. You saw Smokey Robinson in a video up there still singing and dancing. Oh, and what's the other one? The say it's my prerogative, Bobby Brown. These guys can barely move. They're still doing it. I was concerned about those knees on Smokey. Okay. They shouldn't have to perform anymore. You get to be that age, man. They have I think they have their best time in the 20s, early 30s, and then the rest of the time you're just living off of your past. When we see some of these old performers, they're still doing the songs that made them popular. It's more a nostalgia type of thing. But the old guys are the OGs. They very rarely come out with new music, or if they do, nobody listening to it. We want to hear, the song you made 30 years ago. Some don't know what to do with their time when they retire. Okay. Some people will never retire. A lot of them politicians stay in, they got to carry them out the White House, honey, on a stretcher. And some people just, just recognize it. Look at the Beatles, how big they were, and they stopped. What they were only popular. They were only together for a very short time. It's only like 6 years. We're still talking about them today. I believe Clive Davis is a big friend of Puff Daddy. Well, they were businessmen, so that wouldn't be surprising. He's got to know everybody in hip hop, right? They're separating themselves at this point. I mean, what choice do they have? But certainly Clive Davis would know Puff Daddy, of course. The whole industry, I mean, for him to get that rich, he had a lot of business encounters. I wasn't even surprised that TD Jakes was at one of his parties. They made this huge thing. Oh, TD Jakes is on his knees now. No, it's not unusual for these millionaires, these people with all these business entanglements, honey, to be supporting each other. You're having a big party. I'm in town, so why not? Why wouldn't I drop by? I'm sure he dropped by a lot of places, honey, especially if they have business together. Itzy, I don't got no problem with being retired. I don't even know how people have time to work, honey, because the day seems to fill up pretty good. Uh-huh. But I was working, and when I was doing my thing in the streets, I was doing my thing in the streets. There's a season, honey, a season for rest. They had so many. Who had so many hits? French Montana. See, that call comes after me. Yeah, I think I was getting high all through the 90s. I didn't get clean to 2000 and whatever, 2002, I believe. But I still had music, but mostly, just rap music, something to get you up and get you going, a beat. That was hilarious. TD Jakes at Puff's shindig. Well, it's because y'all put preachers on pedestals like there's some kind of holy people. They're not, right? It's just two businessmen. I mean, one at the other one's party. The man was there with his wife. I don't know if he'd be out there doing freak parties. And I just can't imagine that TD Jakes would even be involved in or be invited to something like that, honey. Mm-mm. People want to see some biceps and triceps, honey. Especially when he's filming it. You can imagine TD Jakes naked. You might even want to see that. I bet a lot of them are scared because not him. I don't think TD Jakes was involved in that. But if he's filming everything, he's got cameras all through his house. Did he have cameras in the freak rooms too? That could be a reason why people keep their mouth shut. Smokey Robinson is rich. He performs only because he enjoys performing. Yeah, he does it because he likes music. Music was his life, and music was good to him. Wasn't he a vice president at Motown Records for a long time? There are a lot of dudes who enjoy bears. Come on, Uncle Tim. You should know that I don't beat on bear though. When I take my Ozempic shot yesterday, so when I'm slim and trim like you Goonies, then I might go out and give me a piece. I've never been attracted to bears, so I don't know. Yeah, so there's a type for everybody, honey. But as you get older, it just doesn't be. It's just not as interesting. Seriously, there are different seasons in life. Your grandma and grandpa are not. I don't care how long they've been together. They're not still humping on each other in their 60s, 70s, 80s. Enjoying bears. Yeah. This is San Francisco, baby. We got all kind of hey, come back here. Get bum around here, sit down. What are you doing? My baby. I love my baby so much. Whoopie boo and whoopie boo. He gonna get his hair cut on Saturday. That's my birthday. Saturday's my birthday. I'm gonna trim my dog. Same day. Oh, TD Jakes will be considered a bear. Leave that man alone, honey. Have some respect. Shit. I hate it when the way they went after him. Got him in all these damn outfits. They even had the man in drags. Lord have mercy, child. Have a little respect for ministry. I mean, he ain't did nothing bad to nobody. He even stopped some of his homophobic rants. You got to grow up. Well, people on that level, though, they don't fuck you because you're cute. It's all about the money, honey, and power. People are attracted to power, successful men. It's always been that way. So if he chose to get out and all that kind of stuff, he wouldn't need no Puff Daddy party to do it. My parents had separate bedrooms for years before they passed on. Yeah, mine too. My mother and stepfather, they had separate rooms. They had been together for, I think, about 27 years, whatever. She was the second husband. They had separate rooms. People ain't trying to hump on all. It's just natural. It's something that happens naturally, honey. Now, there's few of these freaks that they won't let it go. They take the pills and things. It's a brand new world, baby. There was an outbreak of HIV in retirement homes in Florida, I remember. And I said, wait a minute. These people in their 80s and 90s, girl, and there's an outbreak of HIV. Look it up. There was. Getting it on, baby. Let's get it on. Oh, baby. Let's get it on. Yeah, loving, baby. Let's get it on. Sugar. Let's get it on. We're all sensitive people. Watch some of them grandpas. My grandparents had something. Okay. Is the separate room because they want their own space? I would imagine so, honey. Kids are gone. You got an empty house, empty and nested. Yeah, you might want your own space. You're not having. I don't think you're having sex and stuff that much. It's not physical at that age. So, but you still have the relationship. I'll be 62 in June, and everything does change. You're gonna be 62. I'm 66 on Saturday. Now there was a time when I felt like you have to have sex. I don't know, but I haven't had it in at least 15 years. The TV is my boyfriend. You know what I'm talking about. Now, I wouldn't mind being in love with somebody, though. I don't know how I would meet them. It's only an issue, unless they come knock on my door. They have sleeping problems. Well, thank you, Goonies. HIV has skyrocketed in Atlanta again. Damn. So I bet Walter Lee Hampton is happy. He got content, baby. Goonies, you explain to me why Walter Lee Hampton hates Atlanta so much. That man has made so many videos about his disdain for Atlanta. Don't come here. Don't come here. Oh, homosexuals and all this shit. But he's popular. I guess some people like it, honey. I said, man, have you ever considered leaving Atlanta? I mean, if you don't like it, you hate it so much, child. All they do is go to sex parties, child. Yeah, you done bought a house there, so I don't imagine you leaving very, very soon. It's too bad they have skyrocketed HIV. I mean, HIV is different than it was, You might as well say skyrocketing diabetes or skyrocketing some other ailment because, I mean, it's treated, right? Well, it was a big story because it was killing people. I don't know if all people are paying as much attention. Plus, they got all this stuff now to keep yourself safe between PrEP and all the drugs I mean, I take one pill a day, and I have been for over 20 years. Everyone is different. We all have our reasons. The reasons that we're here. The reasons that... Do I sound like Kelly Love? The reason that we feel like a little won't disappear. And after the love game has been played, all our illusions are just a parade. For the reasons have no... Get ready, Nikki. Have no crime after all. Although the reasons why. Oh, Lord, I apologize for the pain in your eardrums, honey. You watch Lizzie, you watch Walter sometimes he calls it a ninjaville. He don't use ninja though. He used the real word, honey. I don't know how he got away with it, but he had a whole series. I don't know why that boy hates. Walter doesn't like a whole lot. Now he's a talented boy because he has done a remarkable job on that home he's in. Although I don't know why he would be living in a 6-7 bedroom house. You can't deny that he has done a remarkable job on that. So maybe that's just his investment. But I would think, honey, if I don't like someplace, I'm not going to live there, period. I dreamed about living in California since I was a little baby. I mean, as a kid. That's where I wanted to live, and I couldn't wait to get away. I pulled out at 19 years old and never went back. Occasionally I'll go. I think I'm going to go visit Indiana this summer. My mom is getting old. I need to go back there. Earth, Wind, and Fire had albums where you didn't skip any songs, hit after hit. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Tell me this song. Yes, I use ninja instead of the other word out of respect for your channel. People make a big deal out of all the cussing and all that. They don't. I've never been. I'm not demonetized or anything else, and I cuss like a sailor, honey. So I don't know. I use words. It was YouTube is what got me back to using the N word, because for years I didn't use it at all. I just thought, well, that's the thing of the past. We don't use that word anymore. But coming on here and where you're communicating with people, you realize, well, they won that fight. So now I use it all the time. The ninja word. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then in San Quentin, and I was in and out of there constantly for 10 years. If you use the N word, you had to give them 50 push-ups the first time you use it. And if you use it again, then they beat your ass. So I learned to stay away from that word, that particular word. But I think people give it too much power, right? If black people want to call people niggas, then that's what it is. They won that fight for me. Just like they hate, people have had so many videos and so many conversations about sagging pants. Well, they were sagging pants before I got to San Francisco. So that means it's been like 35 years. They've been sagging their pants. You got to accept it, honey. We can't tell people what to do, how to act, whatever. They won that fight as well, as far as I'm concerned. When they want to stop sagging their pants, they want to come up with something, that's what they'll do. Wendy, are you a caregiver? You live with your 93-year-old? Well, honey, bless her heart. She's 93. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people go home because there's a need there, a necessity. You can't expect somebody that age to be living by themselves. Mm-hmm. So good for you, Wendy. You're a good daughter. I think daughters are better than men when it comes to caring for their aging parents. Okay, Goonies, tell me about prison life now. Okay, well, saggy pants in prison used to mean booty, so I don't understand why these younger people still sagging pants. Well, we don't understand it, but that's what they want to do. That's what they're doing. The only time I have a problem with it when I see them in the store trying to steal something, and they running. They got up, spend more time holding their pants up. I said, girl, did you know you come in to commit a crime? How the hell you holding your pants up, child? It is kind of nasty. And if you're riding the train or the bus, if somebody's sagging their pants, a lot of times these drawers is not clean, honey, and they're standing up because it's crowded on the bus. That means they're putting their ass right in these old people's face and all that. I don't like all that, honey. Sometimes they're arrogant about it too. I refuse to pull my pants up. So that's their expression, you know. I had to get rid of my suspenders. I like my pants pulled up, but it was causing me problems, I think, in my shoulders. So that's why I abandoned them. They try to sag in skinny jeans. Oh my God. Who was that little? They had somebody on here yesterday, and they showed him. He had no shirt on, all tattoos, and then he had sagging pants to the middle of his booty, and they were skin tight though. I don't know who that was. Did you see that with Moonbeams? He had skinny jeans on, and they were pulled all the way down. Ooh, that looked nasty. I said, "Ooh, girl, that looked nasty, baby." I don't even get the skinny jeans. Make people, especially if you got big feet. Some of these men got these huge ass thighs, 13 feet, and they want to wear skinny jeans, honey. Make them feet look like clown feet. But you know, we had our styles, and if you look back at the shit they were wearing in the 70s, why? Even hairstyles and stuff. That stuff changes, honey. Okay, you're talking about Wendy? Let me see. What we doing on time? I didn't. I need to find it. Put in your search engine, skinny jeans and saggy. See, I'm sure you're going to get all kinds of comedy, honey. Anyway, people, so I just want to come and give, I just think that story is interesting about the family dynamic there. I am going to go and see who I'll be sure actually is. And I'm sure I'll probably have heard his music. But Goonie said I got to catch up with the history. So we're going to go check it out. Okay, you guys, thanks for coming in. Walter wants all Atlanta men to himself. He don't want them. I bet you Walter is the kind of guy that all he does, because he's so scary of everything, especially anything to do with sex. He said you're all nasty and you go to sex parties, right? He probably one of these guys that just want to sit there and put baby oil on each other, on their muscles, right? They're obsessed with their muscles. They rub baby oil all over my biceps. Later, people.